Ah, we're so crowded on this planet since we merged a couple of weeks ago. It's insane. Nope. There we go. A 3. Excellent. Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard tech, it's fun. I like having people on this planet. On my last look, I mean, there were people on my last planet, right? It's not that there weren't people, but the people on my last planet, I mean, look, we've been playing together for we were 10 months on the same server, so everybody knew how everybody else played, and everybody was shielded all of the time. But, in the planet that we merged with, there's people now. There's a lot more people. So, I mean, it's nice because people are content in this game. And I think that, I've seen a few times people say, after they merge worlds, hey, there's a ton of people here. It's not fair. I can't get the stuff. I used to be able to farm this way, and now I have to farm that way. Or I used to be able to get all the monsters I wanted, and now other people want monsters, so I can't have all the monsters I want. And I've seen a lot of that kind of talk going on, and honestly, it's I don't want to sound like an asshole, but it's naive to think that you can have the situation of increasing the amount of players on your server without changing the way that you play, right? So, if they double or triple or quadruple the amount of players that are in your same instance, well, you're naturally going to have competition for the same resources, and not just resources, but the same rewards, items, whatever. There's going to be competition now, and you can't have one without the other. So it's kind of, I feel it's naive to say oh, I used to have everything I wanted and now I have to compromise and this sucks, because the alternative is that the game would be boring. Without more people, and forget not even without a lot other people or without more people, the game would be boring without change. So you got to be open to change, and you got to be open to, in a merge, you're going to have a lot more people on the server, and that's going to give you content. It's going to give you more entities. It's going to give you that capability to have new relationships and to fight side by side with the people who you've been building relationships with for many months. And you cannot have that access to additional content without also being open to having your standards tested, or your expectations of what your output is going to be. That's all going to be tested, and you're going to have to work harder. And even if you work harder, it doesn't mean you're going to get the same thing you used to get. And in fact, everything has a cost of effort. There's a time investment cost, or even apart from time investment, and you could say a monetary investment cost, but there's also a knowledge cost that's required in order to get anything in the game. So if your goal is, during the current event, I want to kill a level 8 monster, a single level 8 monster. Well, whereas before, this might have been something that you would have been able to do within 1 or 2 or even 3 resets. Now, with twice the amount of people vying for those level 8 monsters, you have to understand that not only is it going to increase your time investment, because now, since you're fighting against more people, you must be... There's an acceptable amount of time, there's a time window when, after this window, level 8 monsters, they're just gone, just due to the amount of people on server. And you can see that this is true, because if you go to, a young world, you'll see it's a completely different amount of time is acceptable. So there's the time investment. There's also the knowledge investment, because if you let's say you don't know, you've never killed a level 8 monster, a level 8 event monster before, and now suddenly you want to kill a level 8 event monster. Well, everybody else who's competing, or the vast majority of people who are competing, are not doing it for their first time. They're not trying to tackle it now, but they've never done it before. So they already have that knowledge, whereas you have to, unless you're going to start scouting level 8 monsters and sending weenies at them, and, you know, that is something that you could do, but that essentially, that uses time, right? And then you have to analyze it and think of what to send. So it's not just grinding the situation, you know, it's not just throwing money at the situation, but when you merge, you have to up your knowledge game. And you have to, like, spend some time doing research because, like, let's say you've never killed a level 8 monster before. Here comes a merge. Now you've got level 8 event monsters. And because of the time investment being increased in that the time window is decreased, right? Like, now level 8 monsters last less time on the planet. So because of that, you don't have the capability to start scouting and gathering your information in this necessarily in the same amount of time that you would be expected to not only gather the information, prepare for it, and reach the goal. So, I mean, like, look, right now we're in old world. I mean, like, I was kind of like, I thought mine was like moderate to old, but we merged with a world that was older than ours. But let's look at, like, I don't know if this is a newly merged world or not, or if it's, like, really a young world. Let's check out... Yeah, look, okay. So, look, 22 minutes after, I just went to a world, and there's level 8 monsters. There's level 7 monsters. So, it's different on every world, and the more... Not that it's different, like, these things disappear. These things don't disappear due to the game. The things disappear because people are killing them, right? So, let's see if we can find any arcs. See what level these arcs are. So, I mean, one person could clear all of these. In the amount of time it's taking me to look for them, I could just jump there and clear it if I were on that world. But this is clearly a very young world. Yeah, the people... Anytime you go to a world and you see people aren't in Centican, like, if Centican is not a mass of arcs, then it's a young world. And here, you got, like, level 18, level 15, right? When these guys hit level 21, then these level 8 event monsters are going to be, you know, something that they're going to start to hunt. And they won't last so long. So, like, I mean, you could go on, like, an even, like, a slightly younger world. So let's go to, like, let's go to a slightly younger world, right? Not as old as mine, but also can kill level 8 monsters. Did 888 merge? 880. Oh no, 888 must be super new. I thought that. Well, I think it's a new merged world. Yeah. Okay. So this is an older world, clearly. You can see. You know, you got your huddle of arcs in Centican, right? But it's thinner than mine, and, you know, less of them. And yeah, I mean, so far I don't see any level 8s. Oh, this friggin' Albatross's plan. Of course all the level 8s are gone. That guy's a beast. That guy is a beast. So, before we merged, I mean, you can find level 8s on my planet for, like, maybe 6 minutes after. Now, like, I mean, within 3 minutes, they're all gone. But I bet if you start looking around on some of these worlds that can kill level 8s, I bet you will find that level 7s are still kind of lingering. Yeah, this is young. This is a young place. Are my things ever coming home? No. So, I mean, this is all tangential. This is all tangential. I entered Mercenary Soldier. Oh my goodness. This game is hilarious. This is all tangential. My point is that for Halloween event, right, I think it was like a week or something, 6 days, I killed 137 level 8 monsters. this event is twice as long as Halloween event. I don't think I'm going to kill 137 level 8 monsters. I think that's a ridiculous expectation. So it's important that when you set out for these events that your expectation is reasonable, and also that you understand that if you're on a larger planet or if you're on the planet that recently merged, your return is going to be less for the same amount of investment. And you could look at that and be like, oh, hey, look, I'm getting less. This sucks. Like, I'm going to get outpaced. But no, that's not true. Everybody's going to get less. What it means is that that pot that used to be divided into, like, you know, say 150 or no, say like 200 portions, now is getting divided up into 400 portions or 500 or 900 portions. And that's good because it means that now you have more people competing, and that creates more content. So, in answer to your question of do I like my new home, the answer is yes. I am absolutely terrible. I can't answer a yes or no question without, I don't know. How long did I go on for? Was that like 10 minutes of rambles? Oh man, everybody has good reason to laugh at me. Especially me. Somebody is decent over where I am with the attacking stuff. They're finding things and then they're attacking them. And it is this is exactly what I was just talking about. It's causing me to have to look for more targets. Oh, that's like right next to a jelly spill. Oh, so Hardtech been having fun, but I seem to have hit a roadblock getting close to 20. Shadow Matter just seems to be super hard to get, so level 7 boxes are slow for what you get. Yeah, I mean, level 7 boxes are incredibly slow. Once you start to get to those upper levels, to 20, to 21, I mean, to 22, I don't know what your situation is, like, hey, you know, how is your guild, like, are you in a guild? Hopefully you're in a guild by now. But do people support each other? Do you have programs in order to boost each other so that people aren't being left in the dust? And I understand, like, you know, hey, you're probably going to say, look, I need Shadow Matter badge or STFU. You know, you're talking about resources. But, you know, people will gather Shadow Matter and then drop out of guild, or you could drop out of guild and hit them to transfer Shadow Matter. So it's definitely possible. But what it ultimately comes down to is how are you guys at communicating? Because the more you guys communicate and the better that you are at communicating, and especially the more you communicate out of game and the way that you can get these requests for Shadow Matter and resources and really assistance, you know, the easier it is for you to request these things, the more people can see them and they can help you out. So I would definitely say, I mean, look, there are options to get it yourself. I'm not saying that you should turn around to your guild and you should say, hey, guys, we're in a guild and Badger says that means that you gotta give me shit, because it's not true. So there are ways. So things that you could do, obviously, I mean, look, your 7 boxes are not as good as 12 boxes, but 7 boxes are better than 0 box, right? So it's something. And then there's also other options, like, I mean, raiding for Shadow Matter. It sounds like if you're trying to get to 20, it means you're level 19 in a lot of worlds where that is the current, like, if you're about the average player on that world, then it's a pretty young world, and that means that people aren't necessarily using shields all the time, and you sound like you're in the beginning of the game, when you're in the beginning of the game, it's totally about, like, the meta is totally raiding. So keep very few resources on your arc. Put them, if you have if your guild has a bank, put those resources on the guild bank. Get rid of the shit that people could take from you, even if it means letting yourself get hit for shadow matter, in order to protect it, and they can kind of hold it for you for a little while, and you can take it back later. But get that stuff off of your arc, and then go out and raid, man. That's going to be a really great way for you. I mean, there's other stuff you could do. You could get the $20 card for, like, I think it gives you 10 shadow matter a day, 15 shadow matter a day. Like, I think you probably need something like 300 or 600 shadow matter. So, I mean, it's definitely doable. Even if you've got all 5 of your guys on level 7 boxes every day, you know, it shouldn't take you more than a couple of weeks to get what you need. I think it's almost about time for me to move to a new place. So I hope that answers your question. You know, definitely, you know, talk to your guild, see what kind of help that they could give you, and you know, just raid and grind it out. If your guild does, you know, like, as a separate thing, if your guild does not have a system of helping each other, then it's time for you guys to develop a system of helping each other. And the communications, like, look, the communications platform in the game is absolutely terrible. So I know a lot of guilds are, like, online or on WeChat or on Discord. So, you know, super easy to get that ball rolling, and I definitely recommend that you do it. You know, just by the way, just understand that it's a double-edged sword. If you start asking your guild for support, they're going to want you to fork shit over, right? Which sucks. I ask people to give me shit, they want me to give them shit. This is America. I mean, this is China. So, what justice is there in the world where you ask me a simple yes or no question and I go on for like 10 minutes, and then you ask me like an actual involved question and that takes me 2 minutes to answer? Nobody ask me how I'm doing, please. That's a minefield right there. Hope everybody's having a happy Turkey Bot day. Oh yeah, well, so Hardtech says they do help each other in my guild, but combat group comes first, so maybe after this season the rest of us will get some help. LOL. Hey, look, I've got a suggestion, and you're gonna friggin' hate it. Be in the combat group. This is called Ark of War, not Ark of sit around and ask for shadow matter. But if you could convince your guild of that, then let me know if that works, because I'm sure I got some people that I could say that to on my world that would like to say that to. Jeremy, you're killing me over there. It's gonna be time for me to move pretty soon. I think I'm gonna change the name of my channel to Ark of Ask Everybody for Shadow Matter. Okay. I don't grid search ever. Should do a video on grid searching. But I'm afraid people on my planet would watch it. I don't want that. Come on. Okay. Am I out of... No, I'm not going 71 to it. Ah, what the hell, what do I lose? Time to find a new place. Yeah, Mountain West Bumblefuck, no wonder. Nah. Okay, so Hardtech combat group requires more involvement, and my 9 to 5 puts a hamper on it. Yeah, that sucks. Quit your job! I don't have a good answer for that, bro. I am building a bullet that's 33K. Awesome. Sadly, most of the events hit during work or like 2 a.m. Yes. So the events hit for me at 3 a.m. right now, and the other half of the year it's 4 a.m. But I try and predict the events, and for the ones that I can predict, if they are good enough for it, then I will stay awake. Like, if I need to, in order to get ahead. Like, for a regular monster kill event, that's good enough for me to reset my sleep schedule on the weekends, but I won't do that during the weekdays. But if it's a really, really important thing, then I will try and predict when it is, and I will stay up for it then, or I'll get up early for it. And I am wrong a lot of the time, but I was awake when the Thanksgiving event started, and I figured it would either start early, first I thought it was going to start Saturday morning, and I was wrong. Then I thought it was going to start Monday morning, and I was wrong. But then I figured it's either going to start Wednesday or Thursday morning, and it started Wednesday morning, and I happened to have been awake. So that was good. I need to move anyway, so I'm just going to favorite these for now. So, but the thing is, okay, so look, I mean, you could say, that's all well and good, Badger, but, I don't want to ever reset my sleep schedule because I have a life, and it's not staring at this thing and getting carpal tunnel, and that's wonderful. I'm really happy for you. Then why are you coming after me for answers if you have all the answers? No, but you don't need to be there at every reset. You really don't. When you've got events where there are monster hunting, you do not have to be at every reset. Don't be like me. You're better than me. Just aim to make certain resets, figure out when you can do it, and when you can do it, be there, and just actually spend some time on it. And I would suggest, if weekends are your thing, if it's easier for you on the weekends, then absolutely during the weekends, try it out, pick a day, pick 3 of the resets, during the weekend, and be on when that reset starts, when that monster reset starts. Have your comms ready, have them on your Ark, have your gear set, have your formations preset already, have all of that ready, set your March boost on, get into Diablo Hall if you have it, and if you don't have it, then stay in bed anyway. No, just kidding, but get Diablo Hall. But get all of that ready, and then be there in the moment during the reset, and actually try. Spend a few hours hunting monsters, do grid search, bookmark every monster you see, and clean as much of the map as you can that's close to you. And if you do that for a few resets, then you'll be completely fine. You will be able to get your event components. Just key for it, absolute key for it, is you have got to have your Ark in a relevant location. if your arc is like out on the outskirts of the map, you're not going to be capable of farming well. You want the monsters to be ideally like within 30 tiles of you, or 50, and once it starts slowing down, I'll start throwing shit like up to 70 and 90 tiles away from me. But you want to just be cranking out the monsters. So you don't need to be on for every one. And in fact, because I am on for so many of them, many times, I will spend no more than like 5 or 10 minutes on it, honestly. And if I'm at work, like, I'll cry. But if I don't have a lot of time, sometimes I'll just go like, if I happen to be on lunch or on a break, if I happen to be, then I'll spend 5-10 minutes and then I'll be done. And I'll just get as many high-level monsters as I can, and whatever I can't, I can't. And you can only do what a human being can do at the end of the day. Unless you're a badger. So, like, I mean, I have to keep, like, thinking, like, why am I even saying these? I keep listening to myself, and I go, why are these words coming out of my mouth? Because you asked the question. And the question was, how do you compete in these events where, like, I'm not awake when they get announced? And, the answer is, you're not going to... The people who live in the game, you're not going to beat them. The people who drop thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, you're not going to beat them. You're not competing against those people anyway, so don't worry. But as far as, like, the events getting dropped while you're asleep, well, look, the first thing that you do when you log into the game is go into news. That should always be the first thing that you do. So, like, let's say, look, if it's 2 a.m. for you when it drops, let's say you're not going to be in until, like, 8 or 9, you don't check in the first time, then when you sign on at 8 or 9, look at the news, and as you experience these events more and more, you will learn exactly what's going to happen, or you'll have, expectations of what should happen. Like, for example, I mispredicted that they were going to be pumpkin bots at this event. There aren't pumpkin bots, but there are abominable snowmen. It's the same friggin' thing. Like, they have the same patterns of spawning. It's the same difficulty level. So, it's not a big deal. I signed into the game. I saw that they were abominable snowmen. I made fun of myself for predicting incorrectly, and then I went and killed some snowmen. You know what they are. You know what they are. So, read the news. The news is key. It's really slowing up here, huh? Thinning out. Alright, let's see if we could scare up some higher level things here, right? Right. Yeah, they seem done. I think they are done. Yeah, they're done. Okay. They're done. And I think I'm done. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining.